Hey y'all, thanks for renting the RV. Come on in, I'll show you what see what's gonna happen. We're gonna cover everything that you need to know about the RV in about 20 minutes or less. So this is the first thing that you need to understand. This is the control panel. It's gonna control everything from the cab back. What you're gonna notice over here is there's first thing you'll see is a line of buttons that go up and down on the center of the control panel. When you push these buttons, the red lights are going to light up. This is going to tell you how full or empty everything is in the particular button that you push. So the bottom one says LPG, that's your gas. You'll notice that it's full. The next one is battery, it's full. Fresh water is less than a quarter. You've got your gray and your black tanks that are both empty at this point. So those are the things that you're going to notice about being able to tell where everything is and when it needs to be dumped. Moving to the right hand side of that, you're going to see the total number of hours that the generator has on it. Now when it's time to start the generator, you're going to want to use the generator for electricity to run the air conditioner that's on the roof unit and to run the microwave. Without that, you're not going to be able to run or keep those things going down the road. You've got to have the generator plugged in and ready to go. To start the generator, you're going to push down on the generator button and hold it until the red light turns on. Once it's on, the generator is primed. You can push up. You'll hear the generator start, the microwave will come on, and you'll be able to control and turn on the air conditioner back here, and the central AC unit will turn on. In the same way, when it's time to get rid of the generator or you don't want to run the generator, you're going to go over to the generator button, you're going to push it down, and it will kill the generator. Now, an important thing to keep in mind is the generator runs off of gasoline, regular unleaded fuel, and it runs from the same tank as the engine does. So once you get to a quarter tank of gas, the generator is no longer going to work. It's going to keep you from being able to run out of gas because you use your generator all night and you can't get to a gas station. So you're going to have to put more fuel in it from there. The next thing you'll notice on the control panel is a number of switches that are below the buttons that light up. These switches are for different things for the unit. Your hot water heater is going to be done in two different ways. You can run it with electric, which is what I really recommend if you're going to be plugged into a campsite, or you can run it on gas. It can do either way. The important thing is to remember that if you're going to take a shower, you're going to wash dishes with hot water. If you don't have one of those on, you're not going to have any hot water. Next to that is the water pump. This is for when you have water in the tank that you're going to be traveling with, and you want to use the facilities, you want to use the sink while you're going down the road or while you're stopped on the side of the road or boondocking. You can use that, but you have to have that pump on or there'll be no water that comes in. When you hook up to the water at the campsite, that water pressure is going to automatically push the water into the unit so you don't have to have the pump on. Arctic is another button that's here. You're not going to need that unless you're going to spend an additional time with it below freezing, which in Texas in the summer typically does not happen. The last two buttons over here are your lights. These are your interior lights that cover the main living area and the main living space through here. You're going to have those up and be able to be controlled from the central control panel right here. The last light switch that's right here, this is an exterior light that actually turns on and off for when you need to use the hookup facilities or you're hooking up your electric or your water from a campsite and it's dark. It's going to have a light on over the door area that will show you on the outside of the unit in a few minutes. That, in a nutshell, is everything that runs on the central control unit here. Let's kind of work our way on around the RV at this point. You've got storage up top that you can utilize and put plenty of storage pieces in. You've also got a table that can change into a bed To do that, you're going to remove the cushions. The table itself will actually lift up on the edge. As you push it down, it's going to lay flat. The cushions will come out. They'll set over on the top of it, and you'll be able to use that as a third bed in the unit. To return it, you simply put pick up the end of the table. It will lock back in place. Another thing to keep in mind is your seat belts for the back part of the unit are only on here. There's 2 seat belts that are on the for passengers to be able to buckle in on the side of your dining table. Underneath the dining table in the very back, there is a plug that you can use if you want to use computers or anything on the dining table. You also have a light switch under here that'll be able to turn on and off to light just the table area. We're going to move over to the bunk at this point. The bunk area has privacy curtains that can be opened and closed. Additionally to these privacy curtains, you do have some storage up here that has extra plugs that you can charge phones and things with and be able to run with those. There's also some storage up here with cup holders, some storage spaces, things of that sort. When it comes to the queen size bed at the top, this is removable. Typically we will use this and not have it in place whenever we're going down the road because it keeps you from smacking your head up against this. But the extra part of the bridge for the queen bed up at the top can come out. The ladder is latched in over here. You can simply take the ladder off, put it into the hooks, and you've got a queen size bed that you can use. You'll also notice a TV up here that has the ability to swivel to either watch while you're up here, hook a gaming system up to it, hook any HDMI up to it that you may want, DVD player, whatever. It will also swivel out so that you can see it in the main cabin area. The other nice thing on the unit is these lights. Have a button right in the middle. You can press the button to turn them on. They're actually at both sides. Same button to close them or turn them off. Ladder will fit in here. When you're not using it, you can snap it right back in over to the side and it's out of your way. One of the important things to remember in the storage compartment right down here, we have a curtain. This curtain is your privacy curtain. The Velcro pieces of this curtain will actually come in and hook onto these Velcro pieces through here. What this does is you're going to want to go ahead and hook to all of these circular Velcro pieces for the hook and latch. That's going to keep you people from being able to see into the unit whenever you're in the unit at night and you're camped. You have a Connex radio right here that you can hook up to Bluetooth. You can play music, hook your Bluetooth up to that on your phone. It can pump throughout the system, throughout the unit. The other piece of the, when you're using the air conditioning unit, you can have it blow straight down this way, or if you close this, it will push the air through the vents, and you can have it go throughout the whole unit, venting the air conditioning and keeping the unit cool all the way through. One of the other nice things about this unit is you do have a little bit of extra counter space that you can fold this up, lock it, and you're good to go. Over here on the very back, this is an iPhone charger. You can set your iPhone on, it will charge as you go. Underneath, you've got kitchen lights for both the stove and the sink, as well as plugs for your kitchen are located under here. The water, you can use water as you go down the road. Again, this is going to be using water if you have the pump turned on, and you can use water and use the sink while you're traveling. This also does come undone. You can use that as needed when preparing meals. You've got a microwave that also doubles as a convection oven in the drawer underneath. There is the instructions on how to use that convection oven and keep that going. This piece simply folds back. You've got 3 burners that you can use. The gas must be turned on for these to work. One of the things to keep in mind is these 3 on the right hand side are the 3 burners that you can use. The one on the far left is just the starter. So once you turn the gas on, you'll click this just like you would on a any type of starter on a gas grill to get those to ignite. You've got overhead storage as well, and this will move us over to the refrigerator. The refrigerator and freezer, this never turns off. The battery that we had over on the control panel is what's feeding the refrigerator and freezer so that it never turns off, it doesn't get yucky. The nice thing about this is the solar panel on the top of the unit on the roof keeps this active and going. One of the things that you're going to want to remember whenever you're going down the road, you need to flip this over. That will keep your refrigerator from opening and all of your stuff falling out as you make a hard right turn. So when traveling, make sure you have that turned over. We're going to move back into the back. As we've already talked about, right over here, you've got a couple of lights switches for the back bedroom. This is also where your controller is for the thermostat for the AC and the heat. Your sink area is outside. You've got a toilet and shower that are inside and separate from the unit. One thing that I will make sure that everybody understands, to flush the toilet, you will be stepping on the little step on the right hand side. That will actually open the toilet, put everything into the black tank, and go from there. We will move back to the TV and the queen size bed on the back. Now this is the only slide out for the unit. Very important whenever it's time to do the slide out. There's 2 things that have to happen for the slide out to work. Number 1, the key in the ignition has to be turned on. Number 2, you must have the parking brake set. If those 2 things aren't done, the motors that send the unit out will not engage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up, I'm going to make sure that the key's on and the brake is set, and I'll show you how to get the slide out to go out. All right, I validated that the parking brake is set. I validated that the key is turned on. Over on the right-hand side of the unit over here, there's a little control panel. This is where you have the in and out. What you'll do is you will hold this. What happens is the unit will start sliding out. You can slide the top of the mattress out. Again, when you're done camping, you've got everything finished, you're going to go ahead and push this in. And this will pull the unit back in. In order for these to engage again, the reason I stress this, that the engine has to be, or the ignition has to be turned on and the brake has to be set, is because the first time we took it out, of course, we didn't have it set that way. We couldn't get the slide out to work. We thought the thing was broke. It's just a safety precaution that's built in by Forest River. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these lights off. We'll move around. You've got a little bit of additional storage down here with a drawer. I usually keep some minor tools in here. You also have sufficient storage underneath these guys. This is for your closets and pantry on the left and on the right. You're going to want to make sure that those are securely closed whenever you get to going. And that's going to bring us all the way back around to the control panel where we started. So as you can tell, everything in the unit, that's a really quick rundown of what the unit has and what it does and how it operates. Now let's go to the heart of the unit on the outside. Come on. On the outside of the unit, there is some minor storage. It's a pretty small area right here, but you do have some storage that you can use. Feel free to use that. Another nice piece is you have an electric outlet where you can do some outdoor plugging in if you want to do that. As we go through the unit, there is a black tank and a gray tank that is your storage tanks for your waste from inside the liquid waste. The black tank is all sewage. Black is the stuff that goes straight from the toilet, and that's the only thing that the black tank is going to have. The gray tank, on the other hand, is anything that comes from sinks and showers. So it could have different types of soap in it and things of that sort. When it comes to hooking up, you're going to hook up the sewage on the other side, but right under here, you're going to notice there's a black tab here that you can pull out. This is to drain the black tank or the sewage. You won't have to do that, but maybe once a week if you take it out, or depending on how big or how many people are in here. With us, when 3 of us are using it, we would go a week without having to empty the black tank, and it was perfectly fine. But we'll show you how to hook everything up. But when it comes to emptying the black tank, just know that this is where that piece is that you'll have to grab and pull this out to get the black tank to drain. This is another storage compartment. Because I rent the RV out for so much, I keep all of my rental supplies in here. So this one stays locked and is not accessible to any renters. As we move around the back of the unit, there is a place where you can hook up a 2-inch trailer piece where you can feel free to keep anything that you have. If you have a bike rack or anything of that sort, you can use that. As we move on across, this is really the guts of the unit. This is where everything is kept as far as water, sewage, electricity, things of that sort. This is an important part right here. You'll notice that this is a 30 amp piece. This plugs into here, which gives the power from the generator to the electric cord. Once you get to your campsite, you're simply going to take this, you're going to pull it out through here, and this is going to plug into the campsite electric piece. Once that's plugged in, you no longer have to use the generator or anything of that sort. If you go down the road and you want to use the air conditioner in the back with the generator, if you don't plug it back in here, it's not going to be able to use the microwave or the air conditioner as you're going down the road. There's a couple of hoses that we have as well. These hoses are going to hook up to the campsite water supply. Once you hook up to that water supply and turn the water on, you're going to hook the other end of this hose right over here to the city water connection. So water goes from the campsite straight into the water connection to be able to give the unit water as you go through. This will take care of your sinks, your shower, the toilet, everything that happens with that once you're hooked up to the campsite. This is where you're going to drain your gray water tank and your black water tank. Now in this pops out. You've got your gray water tank, which again is from your shower and sinks, and you've got your black water tank that will come through here. This is the hose that you're going to use to connect those to your campsite. All campsites will come with the hose that just snaps in right here. And then what you'll do when you take this and put this on, the other end is going to drop into the sewage connection, which is at the campsite. If they require you to put in and screw in the piece onto the campsite, there is an additional attachment right here that is kept in here for you to use. Once this is done, make sure that you have this hooked into the sewage before you open any of the draining pieces. Again, just like on the other side that had the black piece that you pull out to drain the black tank, this is the gray water tank. Once you have this hooked up into the sewage, you'll pull this out. It will get the water draining and it will drain into the sewage connection for the or at the campsite. Also, one of the things that you'll notice with this, if you think this is kind of gross, because it is, I do have gloves that are under the kitchen sink. feel free to use the gloves when messing with any of these pieces. You are going to want to make sure that this is closed, capped and sealed, because you can get a ticket while driving if that's not done within the RV. Oh, one other thing I want to mention. There is a coax. Some KOA and other campsites have cable. If you plug this in and you plug into the coax cable, it just means you can get PBS on a local station. It'll pump over to both TVs. So electric, water, sewage hoses all come right through here. You'll notice right up here there's a light. That's that light that was on the control panel that I was talking about. If you get there after dark, you turn on that light and then you can see everything that comes out from here. Let's talk about fuel for a minute. Gasoline only, that's cheap unleaded gas. Don't put expensive gas in it. You're gonna get 9 to 10 miles per gallon. You're driving a giant square brick down the road. Use the cheapest stuff that you can put in it. I kind of put octane booster in as needed. And remember again, this fuel is going to run both the generator and the engine at the same time off the same tank. This is where your hot water heater is. You shouldn't have to do anything with that. This is a place for you to put water in if you want to fill water to go down the road. So when the pump is on and you want to wash your hands or use the toilet while you're going down the road, you're going to need to make sure that there's water in there. This actually fills the tank. Turn the pump on the main switchboard inside as we saw earlier, and that will take care of those. There's a 35-gallon tank that you can use this for. And you can put up to 35 gallons in there. This is your propane. Propane is going to run all of the heat in the unit and cooking in the unit. Right now, I'm turning the propane off simply by tightening it. Once this is all turned to the right, it's off. I would highly recommend making sure that you keep the propane turned off whenever you're going down the road, because sometimes you'll bump into those burner pieces and one of those knobs can let some propane through. So going down the road, keep this off. When you're there and you're ready to cook, you simply unscrew that and you're ready to go. I'm going to turn it off right now because it's being picked up in the morning, and so I'll keep that where it needs to be. This is where the generator hides. This is an Onan QG 4000 generator. You shouldn't have to do anything on the outside with this because we've already discussed on the control panel what it takes to open or to start the generator and get it running. So you shouldn't have to mess with any of this at all. One of the nice things about the unit that you'll notice is these backup cams on the side. What that does, when the key is on, what you'll notice is the backup camera is actually a rear view camera in the middle. When you turn your blinkers on, it's going to show the sides of either side of what it is that you're looking at and identify your blind spot as you go. To set the brake, you're going to use the old-fashioned stomp the brake. To unset the brake, you're simply going to pull that. It's going to unset the brake. And remember again, the brake has to be set in order for the slide out to come out. That in a nutshell is everything that you'll need to know about the RV to take it and build some memories. Again, thank you for renting. Do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or need any additional information. We're here to help. Happy travels, safe travels, and go make some memories.